Sam Kennedy joins us this morning on the Harbor One Hotline. Sam, I bet you're sad to see this particular segment end for this season.
Well, I'm actually not, because it represents a turning of the page on 2023. We're ready to move on to 2024. So Thanks for having us on all year, and we're grateful for the opportunity and grateful for everyone's support in what was a very, very difficult year.
I want to start by asking you about what Kenley Jansen said this week, and sort of some frustration on his part when it came to what he felt. I think he worded it when he was on Bradfo's podcast in the form of "we needed help at the deadline." Is that kind of an overall feeling that you got from the players on this team, that they needed help at that time and didn't get it?
Yeah, look, Kenley's one of the best closers of this generation. He's had a ton of success across the big leagues, and he came here to win a championship. We brought him here to try and help us win a championship. So when we didn't make any changes or additions at the deadline, of course there's going to be that feeling in the clubhouse, and that's on us in the front office and in ownership. So we hear him, we understand it, and unfortunately we just didn't, not to go back and rehash sort of old ground, but obviously we didn't get to a place where we felt there was the right deal to make. But we understand it, and I think it does add to the overall frustration of a disappointing season.
Well, Sam, now that you kind of know some of the things that some of the players are feeling, and you kind of have time to look back and reflect, what's the mindset and the approach from everybody? I know you guys are looking for hiring a new baseball ops guy, but what's your approach then to making sure this offseason you guys are big players, so guys in that clubhouse know that you are really trying to bring in guys that are going to help you guys win another World Series?
Yeah, I think it starts, Wiggy, with communication and making sure that everyone knows exactly where we're going as an organization. The goal here hasn't changed, and that's to be competitive year in and year out and get back to where we belong, which is playing baseball in October. But look, I think most importantly our actions and not a lot of words at this point. There's not a lot you're going to say when you're staring up at the rest of the division and you fell short in so many areas, other than to take action. And that's what we plan to do this off season. You mentioned it. We obviously starts with a search for our next leader within baseball operations, but nothing's slowing down. We've got great people in place. We're continuing to move forward. We want to finish out the season here and then quickly get to work on off-season planning, and we'll let our actions speak louder, because there's not a lot you can say when you've just had a really disappointing year. We just got to own that and move on.
No, and I know, and I appreciate you talking about it, and I also appreciate that you want to look forward. And I understand that. And I think, however, that, I want to ask you about Kenley again, when he said essentially at this point in his career, he didn't want to be on a development team. Could that be an issue going forward when it comes to those kind of veteran free agents signing here?
Yeah, I think, obviously, I won't speak for Kenley. There's really a responsibility that we feel deeply in the front office and our ownership group to put a team out there each and every year that's worthy of chasing a championship. So we're aligned with him, and that's what he wants. Those of us that have been blessed with World Series rings know there's no feeling like it. So, yeah, people come to Boston with the expectation that they're going to be in the hunt, in the mix each and every year. Our fans have that expectation. We have that expectation. So we agree that that needs to be the culture and the environment around here, that we're playing for championships. But we've got a lot of work to do to get back to that point, and we're prepared to engage in that work right away.
Sam, I'm just interested in how the team performed and the the manner in which the Red Sox conducted business the last 3-4 years. Was that a Chaim Bloom approach that you're looking to alter in your hire, or was that a organization-wide dedication to the farm system and reevaluating the spending in free agency that may continue no matter who the next general manager or president of baseball operations is?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's definitely an organizational approach. I mean, we're a team over here. It's an organization-wide approach to build a robust farm system, an organization, build a team at the major league level that our fans can get excited about and go out and do what we want to have done, which is win. So it's a whole organization, and there's a lot of men and women and individuals in this front office that are working hard each and every day. So we're all in this together.
So then, Sam, whoever the next president of baseball operations becomes, should we expect a similar approach in terms of a relative aversion to those long-term massive deals that the organization had done up until really, Chris Sale, Trevor Story, 6 years, 120. But is that approach going to continue in terms of not breaking the bank on big-time free agent players?
Yeah, look, it wouldn't be very smart of me to tip our hand or our strategy to the baseball world on September 29th as we head into next year. I guess what I would tell you is that we've been very consistent in 22 years here in terms of our willingness to play in free agency, in terms of our willingness to do long-term deals with homegrown stars. We've been willing to part with homegrown stars. The consistent approach has been trying to do everything possible to have a robust organization with prospects that can develop and come into the organization. You saw some of them this year, but we've also been willing to move on from prospects. So there's different ways to get there. We obviously fell short, so we got to get to work on 2024 as soon as this season ends and turn the page and move on.
Are you close to finding somebody to replace Chaim Bloom?
No, we're not. We're in the early days, and we're not going to rush it. We've got some internal candidates, some external candidates. Most importantly, we've got great internal people who are leading the department today and into the fall. So we're going to take our time. It's most importantly to get this right versus going fast.
Sam, one of the things that Kenley talked about, which I think it's like a good and a bad thing. He talked about the standards and expectations for playing for a franchise like the Boston Red Sox, which means it's about winning championships, and it's hard to build and be a developmental type of franchise because of all the winning. What's it like trying to walk in both worlds of being able to build a farm system, but also being able to put a product on the field that does have the success that you guys been able to garner in the past, knowing that free agents want to come here, but their expectations are the standards are really high, not only from the front office, but the fans in general?
Yeah, I think it's a really good question and sort of gets at the core of what we've been trying to do in 2.5 decades. And that's something that's really hard in baseball, but we have been able to do it, and we want to continue to try and do it, which is build that system, because we've seen in our championship years, in the good times, we've seen the fruits of that labor, the minor league system and prospects turning into great Red Sox mainstay players like a Dustin Pedroia, right? And that's really important. But we also have to have the ability, and thanks to our fan base and this great baseball market, we have the ability to add new additions to the group, whether it's a JD Martinez or a free agent signing like a Trevor Story coming in. I mean, we've continually shown the ability to do both. What we haven't had is a run of acceptable success the last couple of years, and that's something that weighs heavily on all of us and something that we have to improve.
Question of the week is from Lackey Property Solutions in Abington. Are the longtime MLB issues of payroll disparity and competitive balance getting better or getting worse?
Good question. It's undeniable. We've got competitive balance. Competitive balance has been achieved. All you need to do is look at the American League East. You got Baltimore clinching last night. You got Tampa Bay right up there. You look at Minnesota, smaller markets that are really doing well. Milwaukee, Arizona's a big market, but not traditionally someone that you think of as spending big. They're right up there. Have done a great job. So across baseball, you see competitive balance, and terrible for us to be where we are in the standings, but we're down at the bottom of the division with the New York Yankees. So it's not about spending. It's about making the right decisions and using your resources wisely to put the best possible team on the field. And when that doesn't happen, that's on us. But competitive balance across baseball has probably never been more prevalent than it is today.
The question of the week is brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Ask Sherwin-Williams how you can make every day feel like game day with over 1,500 colors and a top-tier coaching staff. Shop online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams paint store today. Sam Kennedy, as always, thanks. We appreciate you coming on all season long, and maybe the next time we talk to you, you'll be announcing some sort of giant, big spending free agent signing.
We shouldn't run past that because it's basically unheard of now in this market where leadership joins the local rights holders radio station on a consistent basis. So
yes.
I know you may not enjoy us every time, Sam, but happy to have you on this year, and thanks for being available.
We appreciate being with you guys, and I do want to thank our fans for supporting us. Really appreciate it, and I hope we're back talking to you guys well before big off-season events whether it's winter and or spring training. We'll be looking forward to staying in touch. Thanks for everything, guys.
Well, Wiggy's done 100 Shohei leads, so
Hey, I told you that I know the Red Sox are big globally, especially in Asia. I'm just saying it works well for everybody.
Right, Wiggy lost out on Dame Lillard. He needs Shohei.
Him and Yoshida were teammates. That's all I'm saying.
Putting aside specific players so we don't get in trouble, Wiggy, we're going to add you to our recruiting roster to help us anyway. We'll take all the help we can get.
All right.
Well, actually, the some of the Brockton football fans would appreciate it if you got them out of there and over with you. So, all right, Sam, thank you.
Thanks, guys.